Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm. What up, y'all? It's your man, Abuamerican. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Taqabbalallah minna wa minkum. Eid Mubarak. Give me 1 second. So, as always, we back with the Even Phillip show. I'm a day late because basically I was on the closeout, one of the closeout shows of Dude Party. John is going to end the show. Basically, he's going to end Dude Party, so he's doing like a 4-series closeout, and yeah, so I was on there. Questions. I got a few, and sorry, I'm distracted, guys. Let me see. Salam, bro. Alaikum salam. Got a quick question. Are these pagan gods, Shiva, Odin, etc., jinns? Allah, man. I don't know. I have no idea. No, they're false gods. They're Tawhid. Maybe they're jinn, maybe they're not. I don't know. Who knows? It's a question for the ulama, to be honest. I really can't answer that one. I wish I could tell you, bro. But I don't know the answer. I got a bunch of questions, but like all over the place. I gotta find them. I'm never prepared, like I should be when I come on air. But your boy, I'll be doing all sorts of stuff. I was writing the next part to the vetting guide, and it's going well. But a lot of interruptions and whatnot. It's hard to stay on track sometimes. Am I on the right account? Let me see. I have a question on Instagram. I just gotta find it. Where is this thing? Dude, I get questions on like so many different platforms. I gotta find like a central place to get these questions because it's like too many people be asking me too many questions in too many places, and then when I want to find it, it's like not available. Maybe it was Twitter. Let me look on Twitter. Man, my inbox on Twitter is insane. Look at this. This is crazy. Here we go. So, man, first question that I have like from asked ones. This is my inbox. I actually haven't even responded to this. I haven't even taken it out of my you got your filtered inboxes on Twitter. I haven't even taken it out of there. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Everybody's come in. Eid Mubarak. This brother says, Assalamu alaikum, brother Abuamerican. I hope you're well. I recently purchased your vetting guide and it was very useful to me. Jazakallah khair wa yak for your work. I'm looking forward to 1.5. That's what I'm talking about. I'm writing right now 1.5. It's probably going to be longer than the first one. I have one question. Hopefully I have one answer. I'm talking to one girl in Morocco. She's 22, practicing, seems to be a conservative woman. She's interested in me. I've told her I'm going to meet her in August. I've told her my goals of Hijra. Okay. My question is, do I tell her I'm going to polygynous? I guess I'm going to be polygynous in the future, or do I continue talking to her and drop it on her just before I propose marriage? If after meeting and there's chemistry. I mean, generally, it's like these are conversations I generally don't. I don't have a woman unless they know I already have a wife from the start. It's an understood. If I want to introduce it, then I want to introduce the topic. I mean, I use humor because cocky funny is the way I behave towards women anyway. And so I'll drop it like that and see what the response is. But in general, I treat it like it's an understood, like why wouldn't I have another wife? Why wouldn't I take another wife? It's not, it's implicit. It's not explicit. If you want to avoid like any sort of confusion or problems, whatever else, you can be explicit, but it's generally going to torpedo most interaction with you, unless she really, 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 really wants you. Sometimes what I'll do is like if I want to torpedo an interaction with the girl, when I say torpedo, I mean sink that ship. but it's never worked. So I don't know why I still do it. I'll bring up polygyny. I'll just be like, yeah, another wife, this, that, the other. And it always backfires on me because they always like, oh, okay. And I'm just like, man, this didn't work out the way I wanted it to. So, I mean, if you want to try and experiment with it, see how it works for you. But every time I brought it up in an attempt to like actually end the interaction, it's never gone that way. I mean, I don't see a problem with it. I mean, be clear with your intentions, but you got to be smooth. And in order for it to work, you got to be that guy that she really wants. If you're not that guy she really wants, then bringing it up is just going to be another what do you call it, disqualifier that she uses against you. Because you have to remember, most women, the vast majority of women, they approach men from a position of disqualification, while men approach women from the position of qualification. And since he buys the betting guide, he knows about this. And I mentioned this in detail. I cover that in detail in the betting guide about how women approach from disqualification and men from qualification. So, if she doesn't like you, then you just given her like a solid, hardcore, very clear and strong disqualifier. But if she likes you, then it turns into the opposite. Now it becomes social proof for you, and it becomes a qualifier. Crazy how that works, isn't it? So she's like, oh wow, other girls want her, so other girls want him, so I want him. And if she doesn't like you, and then she'll automatically in her mind start like trying to find ways to bring down your value, and bring you down into a position that's lower than her. And then she'll just like use that as like some goofy way of further bringing down your value and your status and disqualifying you further. So you're 22 years old in Morocco, man, bring it up. You talking about hijras, that means you're a Westerner. I hate to say it, and I don't mean it in a rude way, but really, where's she gonna do better? Unless it's another Westerner who's doing better than you that's coming along. Let's just be honest. Let's be honest. Let's be real. I mean, Morocco is known for it, and it's not to insult those people, whatever. But it's not a rich country, and so Western brothers coming over there, getting married, they have a lot of leverage. So use it. You don't think if she was out here in the West, as a Moroccan sister, she wouldn't leverage her youth and beauty to get the best that she can in terms of a man? Why, leverage it, man. Leverage it. Leverage being an American or Brit or a French or whatever you are, in getting the best possible woman that you can get in whatever country you go to outside of the West. Absolutely use it to your advantage. Because if those women were here, they'd be those same sisters trying to leverage their beauty and their youth against you to get that 50,000, that, the other, whatever else. Don't think for an instant just because she's 22 in Morocco, she done got visions of grandeur in her mind and what she can and can't get, or what she wouldn't get, would and would not get. So it's not to say you're abusing a woman. Don't abuse the woman. Obviously don't take advantage of her, but get the best you can, man. Why not? So bring it up. If she doesn't go for it, guess what? There's a country full of women over there in Morocco that will. So another sister turns 22 every day. Go for it, bro. Talking to a sister who has basic knowledge of the deen, but her family in general is not practicing. Should that be of any concern? I mean, you judge the individual. I can't remember what Sahaba said it. It says, basically paraphrasing, we judge the people from what's apparent, so that whole only God can judge me thing that a lot of these Muslims put out there, from Tupac, which is not like an Islamic value nor an Islamic saying. It has no basis or foundation in Islam. It's just literally something that came from Tupac, and all of a sudden people started trying to act like it was Islam. Judge by what's apparent. She's gonna of course be connected to her family. Her family is gonna have a strong draw on her no matter what, and rightfully so. Obviously to her family. And see how that influences her. If she's going to be in your frame, then it's not a problem. But if you're going to be like, battling with her family over her, then that's a little bit different. Like I married this girl. The the first, culturally Muslim woman I married was in Qatar. And the girl was a hot mess. Her family, they were actually kind of religious. She's kind of fell off the bench somewhere. You know, but at the beginning of the relationship, actually through most of the not most of the relationship, but at the beginning of the relationship and towards the end of the relationship, she was in my frame. Towards the middle, things fell apart, and then at the end, things were coming back together. But I had lost my patience at that point, and I ended up divorcing her, which turned out to be the right move, even though I didn't really want to. Nothing else really mattered to her except trying to keep me happy, and so she would do what I wanted her to do, which, covering, praying, and this type of stuff. But she was inconsistent. I think if I had more patience, and I had red pill knowledge back then, um, and knowledge of game, she could probably turn out to be a half decent woman. So are the foundations there? If this girl was horrible and she was actually coming around, I just, I couldn't see it back then because I didn't have the necessary knowledge to actually recognize that she was coming around. All I had saw was like the past history of problems and her putting up congruence tests right now that she wanted me to pass, because when I divorced her, she was so shocked, crying and everything. And I'd put up a condition. I was like, basically, like, look, you got to be, consistent in the salah. And she was like, no. And then when I was like, all right, fine, we're done. I was like, consider yourself in your iddah, you know, uh, yeah, she freaked out, she completely lost it. And I was like, what the hell, man? I told her this is what I was sitting for, but I didn't understand back then that she was just congruence testing me, you know. But that also brought me to the statement that I said, don't make ultimatums with women that you're not willing to execute. And I've always been like that. That's something that I had before red pill. That was that natural, because I'd get in relationships and be alpha and then go beta in a relationship. But that was one thing I never changed off of personal experience. I'm talking here is that I was always willing to execute ultimatums that I actually made. So this woman, if she has the foundations of the religion, she's good, she's praying, she covers, properly and everything, man, go for it. But if her family's like, exercising like, strong negative influences on her, and you can't get her to come around. This is prior to marriage, especially like if, let's say right now she's not covering, and you say, hey, look, I need my wife to cover, and so you should cover. Now, if she's really into you, she'll start covering even before you marry. But if she's not, well, she's not going to do it. So then you need to find out why she's not going to do it. And if she's not going to do it because of her family or whatever else, then you can probably imagine, you can extrapolate that this is something that's going to carry over into the marriage, with family influence or societal influence. Because sometimes it's not even just the family; it's just a convenient excuse to blame family, and it's just the society in general. They're just too scared to stand out in society. And some of these women, they come from Muslim families, and the Muslim families, they're like, she wear hijab, she don't hijab, whatever. They're like Khali Wali. They just don't care. But they do care. The woman might care about, like, societal judgment, on how she's dressing. So you need to really, explore that and really check her religion. This is where vetting comes in, and you really need to, like, do some deep diving before you, you execute on a woman whose religion you're not sure about, because she's gonna raise your kids. How do you find practicing sisters in other countries like Morocco? I mean, I always tell you guys, social circles. Social circles are the best. It's best to know somebody. How many brothers done married Moroccans? Find a brother who's married a Moroccan and, like, get them to do work for you. Get them to do the leg work for you. Yeah, pay them if you got to, man. Say, hey, bro, I need a matchmaker. Here, 100 pounds, find me a good woman. Yeah, guys willing to spend like crazy money on mahars and whatever else and weddings and whatever else, but like paying someone 100 pounds to find a good woman, dudes won't do it. Why not? If you think the guy will get results, make it maybe conditional. Say, hey, I'll give you 100 pounds, I'll give you 100 pounds, 200 pounds, whatever else. Help me find a wife. People pay matchmakers and apps and premium on apps and whatnot, like, all the time. So do the same. Brothers need to network with one another. And it doesn't have to be for free. Of course, be brotherly, but it's brotherly actually getting involved in helping someone find a wife. So use social networks, use, social circles, whatnot, masjids, whatnot. I'm quite sure there's some sort of service out there on the ground in Morocco. If not, like I said, as many brothers that have married Moroccans, there has to be somebody out there who can help you, you know. Question: do you think women who wants to put no polygyny in marriage contract because of insecurities? There's a lot of different factors as to why women like don't want polygyny. You know, jealousy, competition anxiety, uh, yeah, insecurities again. A lot of women are very insecure. They like to act all bold and tough and like, strong, independent and all that goofy stuff. But at the end of the day, they're like, they're shivering in their hijabs in fear of their man taking another wife. And they hide that insecurity through anger and through brash and extreme action, which has no foundation in the son running off from their husband's house to her friend's house, her parents' house again, whatever else. All this stuff has no foundation in the religion whatsoever, or putting stipulations in the contract that you can't take another wife. Where does that come from? Obviously we're not saying that it's easy for sisters to share their husband. Nobody's saying that, but it's like, if it's completely and unarguably permissible to him, then why would you put that in the contract other than some sort of fear or insecurity? I mean, I can't chalk it up as anything else. They say, women like to say women are intimidated and scared of a strong, independent, high earning, educated woman. Well, women are scared of, a masculine, high value man with options. They're terrified. But what we don't find is brothers going out trying to find some way to put in the contract that, oh, you can't work or whatever else. I mean, I never heard, and maybe some sister can correct me, but I've never seen brothers talking about you're going to be a stay-at-home wife in the marriage contracts. Well, if they're insecure about it, why don't they put it in the marriage contract? If you go get a job, we're divorced. But sisters be quick to be, oh, you can't take another wife in the contract or we're separated. Yeah. It's just the fear of competition, anxiety, and insecurities. And it'd be impossible to tell me otherwise, really. But mostly competition anxiety, I think, which is a form of insecurity. A lot of women, they like to get into marriages and they just get lazy. They get fat, they get slobby, they stop putting on makeup and nice clothes. They don't want to do all that stuff anymore. They actually want to stop. It's a lot of work taking care of themselves. And this is why you find so many women, when their husbands come home, they're frumpy and looking goofy. And when they go out, they do themselves up, getting it completely backwards. You should be done up when your man comes home, and when you go out, you should be frumpy and looking like, a sack of like potatoes. But they do it the opposite. So yeah, I think it's insecurities. I do. I think that would be a correct assessment. But isn't it like a similar question? Like, oops. Hmm. What are your thoughts on Andrew Tate's Hustler University? I've heard a lot of good about it. I'm not in it. I have some guys in my main community, they're in it, and they say it's good stuff. They say it's a lot of in detail information that takes a long time to research. It's best to like, oops, my screen froze. They say it's best to pick a path and then follow that, like a field study. Basically, it's like, you become a doctor, you don't become like a neurosurgeon, brain surgeon and a heart surgeon. You don't become a cardiologist and a neurosurgeon at the same time. You usually pick specialty, right? So they're basically saying it's something like that. You should pick specialty and go with it. And they say it's very in detailed information. Of course, there's no guarantee you're going to make money, but it does teach you how to get into those fields: copywriting, drop shipping, crypto. What else was there? It was like, just multiple different types of methodologies and means to do both brick and mortar businesses and online businesses, but with a large focus on internet businesses. I've heard a lot of good about it. So, yeah. My sister a few weeks ago wanted to put a no polygyny in Quran contract. I stopped talking to her directly, even if I'm not necessarily planning to do it in the future. She said it's her right to put it. Yeah, I mean it's her right to put it in there, but it's a goofy right. It's your right to reject it. It's your right from Allah, explicitly your right from Allah to have multiple wives. She has no explicit right to put that in the contract. Now, it's an extrapolation of the ulama, a fatwa. It's their understanding and their wisdom, uh, that it is permissible for her to put that in the contract, but it is not explicitly stated from Allah nor His Messenger, like polygyny is. So I can't argue with the ulama. The ulama. I'm Abuamerican. These men spent their lives with the religion from children, from when they were small up to universities, and into their adult life. They did nothing but study the religion. I'm in no position to, well, my opinion, like you see these goofballs, well, I have the opinion, this, that, the other. I don't have to listen to the scholar. No, you don't have to listen to him. But you'd be a fool, to walk up into a place, a nuclear physicist or a nuclear reactor, and there's the nuclear physicist who's been doing this his whole life. Well, flip that switch, buddy. This is my opinion. I understand you studied nuclear physics your whole life, but my opinion is if we flip that switch, everything's gonna be okay because I studied this book on nuclear physicism right here. 2 weeks a night at the local community college. That's how dudes sound, when they start talking about, well, I understand the Sheikh's opinion, but I disagree with him. Yeah, I think they should be putting that in the marriage contract? No, but the ulama have said that they should. They can. Okay, khalas. I'm not going to argue with it. Do I think it's right? Does it matter? I'm not going to accept it. That's all I can say, because it's just I know my haq from Allah, but I'm not going to sit out there and spread like my opinion like like it has the weight of the statements of the ulama. When the ulama said, they said she could put in the contract, she put in the contract, but it's also your right not to engage with her. Khalas, man. You know what I'm saying? A lot of books on getting women seem to be focused on kafir dating. Yes, absolutely. But it's upon you to clear up whatever is impermissible and use what you can, how you can. Here's the thing, I mean, how do we say this? How do I say this? Muslims are a bit crazy, man. And Phoenix Stein, I'm not attacking you when I say this. I'm just being general. But Muslims are a bit nuts with this stuff right here. Like when we say stuff like this, red pill comes from the kuffar and blah blah blah. Yeah, so does that finance degree that you got. You know what I'm saying? Muslims out here studying stuff. If you're in any sort of banking studies, any sort of finance studies, what, you didn't study like riba systems? Almost the entire banking, financial, whatever else teaches you about riba. Yeah, we got a bunch of brothers out here who studied in those fields, and sisters also. Almost everything you can study in a university nowadays has a considerable degree of haram in it when it comes down to the Muslims. We managed to filter that out. Why can't we do it with this? It's the weirdest dichotomy that we have. We got this we do these mental gymnastics to justify our positions and our stances. And again, Phoenix Knight, you're a long time viewer. I'm not jumping on you. I know you're asking a general question. But bro, read the stuff. You're going to find a whole bunch of it's just completely useless to you. But you can find it's useless to you when you're not married. Let's say like that. But when you're married, you're like, oh man, this stuff is gold. It's gold because you know why? Muslim women, they're women. And all this kafir stuff that they use for kafir dating, guess what? It works on women. So when you got a woman, it works on her if you use it on her. So I would say, yeah, read it, filter out what you can use, toss what you can't use. Because we do that with everything else. We do that with a ton of information on a daily basis at our jobs, in university, in social media, in reading newspapers or books or whatever else. We do it almost every single day. So this would be no different. Take what you can use, discard the rest. When the average Muslim brother who lives mostly chastised prior to marriage have ignorance of game? Yes, unless he studied it. How then to practically learn such skills and implement before and after nikah? You just got to read up on the stuff, and then the learning curve is steep. But being completely ignorant when you go into it is, I don't know if that's going to be reasonable nowadays. I mean, I think we've all seen the divorce rate out there, and how insanely high it is in the ummah, and how many single mothers we got running around the ummah, and they're not widows. We didn't have some great jihad and some battle where brothers just got wiped out in mass, and now there's a bunch of widows running around. No, it's single mothers. And so I think game is almost a near necessity in this day and age in order to keep your marriage together. And so study it, learn it. But yeah, when you get into it, you have to understand there's going to be a steep learning curve. You're going to be like, that was such and such. This was this when she's starting to do stuff. Because like when I learned game, so much like came together at once in my head, like looking back at the past. That's why I said my ex, I could probably figure it out with all my exes, except for maybe one or two, because they were just broken women. I could have probably repaired things and had it go well, but I had to learn the game. And then when I learned game, it was like, everything clicked. And I was like, wow, yeah, that's what I was seeing. So it's better to learn it and then go into getting married and then exercise it in a permissible way, as opposed to just going in blindsided with wishful thinking, which a lot of brothers do. They always think they're going to go marry that unicorn and she's going to be this, hyper religious woman who's not going to, be a woman. She's going to be like, some logical, reasonable creature that's gonna react the way that he expects her to react because me, because I'm special. And so she's gonna be the unicorn because I'm the unicorn or whatever. I don't know what's going through these guys' heads. And then they end up just like everybody else, divorced. Yeah, I'm gonna marry a girl just like mom, and because mom and dad are together, and it's like, yo, your mom's generation's gone, homie. Your mom didn't have she didn't have this, and a crap ton of attention being thrown at her from like 80 dudes, to where she's like, who's this guy right here, this guy over here with 170,000 followers is like liking my pictures and in my inbox. Here's my husband Ahmed from purchasing. Your mom wasn't that lady. So to think that you are going to find that woman, it's delusional. It's almost as delusional as sisters. So yeah, learn the game, bro. Learn it. And then understand that even with game and knowledge of game, it's going to be whatchamacallit. It's going to be a very steep learning curve because it's real time. So yeah. Tips when feeling on getting through unmotivated patches. Happens every couple of months. Impacts all areas of life. I mean, I think that's normal. This is why discipline is more important than motivation, because discipline is what will keep you going. So just learn discipline. Just screw motivation. Motivation is worthless. Motivation is pointless. It's not worthless. It's not pointless. Let me not say that. But discipline and dedication to whatever your mission and your goal is. Even if you if you maybe say you're really young, you're not really clear what your mission and your goal in life is. Having discipline, and wherewithal, stick to itiveness. That's more important than motivation, because motivation, it rises and falls, it comes and goes, but you have to be disciplined to keep going. Everybody has those highs and lows in Iman, and what some days you're like, yo, I'm ready to go, and like you wake up before the clock for Fajr, and then other times it's like you lift the blanket up and you get up, right? So sometimes you're motivated, sometimes you're not. But discipline keeps you going through all that. So be disciplined. Don't worry about motivation. Motivation will come and will go. But if you're disciplined, you'll always stick to your plan. And eventually, the payoff's going to be great, inshallah. just flirting with her, man. If you understand flirting and how to engage with a woman and her emotions, then it should be good. But there's always going to be. I mean, this is something that a lot of guys listen to from women. Uh, that's kind of it's kind of stupid. Why shouldn't there be tension? you know, Women always talk about they got to feel relaxed, they got to feel this, they got to feel that. No, that tension is supposed to be there. It's supposed to be there. That tension is a form of excitement, and trying to assuage that nervousness, trying to bring down that nervousness and that anxiousness, that tension. It's kind of an attraction killer. But we've grown up in cushy world, where everything is supposed to be a safe zone and a safe space, and the Muslims are taking this ideology on also. Both the men and the women. It's like, well, no, that tension's fine. It's fine. It's okay. Why ease the tension? We're not talking about aggression here. Obviously, if you guys are both feeling some aggression, maybe y'all need to get that worked out before you get married. You know what I mean? But tension, perfectly fine. Why not be nervous? What's wrong with being nervous? It's part of the excitement, isn't it? Why would you want to get rid of that? Why would you want to kill that? It's an amazing thing. It's great. I mean, you can't really go into detail about it. Some things I'd like to give some examples, but tension's great, bro. I don't know why women always want to try and get rid of it. Oh, I'm nervous. No, yeah, okay, that's great. It's awesome. That's when things are the best. When everybody's like kind of on edge, because then everybody is basically like they're on their top game at that point. That's when everybody's on their best manners, their best game when the tension's there. But the problem is, guys don't want to do anything wrong and kill the attraction and the opportunity to smash, and women, they, I don't know what they're thinking. Everybody always wants to smash women, so I don't know why they're worried about tension, their nervousness, or whatever else. Yeah, it's normal, man. I don't think it's necessary to ease the tension. For what? You're supposed to be nervous. It's your first time together with your partner. Man, enjoy it. Enjoy the nervousness. Because you know what? Here's the thing. That tension, it's gonna go away. And then you're gonna remember that excitement that comes from like, this is really happening. You're going to remember that longingly when you're into like routine daily life sex and whatever else. Because that's really what we're talking about, that tension. You're not talking about like sitting together eating lunch. There's no tension at lunch. There's no tension drinking tea together. Let's be honest what we're talking about here. And so there's going to come that point where it's going to be routine, the drudgery. Oh, it's not so exciting anymore. Now I know I can just get it. I can just jump right in. It's going to be gone. It's going to lose its mysticism in a halal sense, if you will. It's in the proper understanding of the Aqidah, it's going to lose its magic because it becomes routine. Man, enjoy it. Enjoy it. That's my take, though. Some sisters out here is going to disagree with me for sure. Abuamerican, what if a sister is refusing to quit her high-paying job? A deal breaker when it comes to what? What if a sister is refusing to quit her high-paying job? Is that a deal breaker when it comes to marriage? Well, I mean, every man is different. Every man has his own different standards. If you don't want your wife to work, there's a deal breaker. This is subjective. This is so subjective. It's kind of hard for me to answer. I prefer my wives not to work. Do my best to make sure it happens, and I have wives that work, but I'd prefer that they don't. I'll work more so that they don't have to, as opposed to wanting them to work in a mixed environment. But if she's like, but if you can like, if you can easily outpace her pay and she's refusing to quit, you want her to quit, and she's not taking a financial, she's going to take a financial hit, but she's not taking a lifestyle hit in order to quit her job. I'd kind of wonder about that personally. I'd be like, all right, let's stack all your cash together that you made in your high paying job. And since you got such high paying job skills, it should translate into you can do a home business, on your own. Because if you're making high paying job money, you should be able to translate your skills over into, personal business. I mean, I didn't realize it until I started working on a job in right now that I actually have the ability to start my own company. I didn't realize it, but now that I'm like, I'm high up, in the ladder and in my career field, I'm looking at the job that the guys that work for me do. And I'm like, because we hire contractors, and I'm just like, y'all suck, you know? And so I'm doing the job with my one crew member, because my team actually has one person, and then any person I need after that, I contract out. So I contract out like a big crew. And I'm like, why is it that me and my one guy do a better job than a crew of 6? And I'm not like bragging. I'm not like, but it's true. Me and my one crew member, we do a better job than 6 dudes. We just work smarter instead of working harder. And it's like, yo, if these guys are making probably millions doing what they're doing right now, because we pay those dudes a lot of money. When we look at like the length and the duration of their contract, yeah, it's in the millions, and what they get per head, it's insane. So if she has that high paying job skill, then it has to translate into her own business money. Like, it's a skill that she can carry into her own business. So make that suggestion. Say, hey, look, you know what? If you're making all this money and you have this high demand skill that pays so much, why don't you work for yourself? Let's make it happen. And if she doesn't agree, then there's something else going on. 100%. 100% something else going on there. If she won't quit her high paying job and attempt to work for herself, so that her husband can be happy with her. And why wouldn't you want to work for yourself? So, I'd wonder about it, but some brothers are okay with it. I mean, me, I prefer it not to happen. All the single mothers in the Ummah, are they mostly in the West or the Middle East? I'm moving to Dubai in 2 months to find 2 wives. When I was in the game, I hated dealing with single mothers. I mean, they're everywhere nowadays, man. It's like no matter where you go, it seems like they're everywhere, bro. I mean, it's just you tend to find that the younger women in foreign countries that don't have children are easier to deal with than the ones in our country. And even the younger women that don't have children in foreign countries are easier to deal with than the single mothers. The single mothers are actually, at least in the West, they're like, they got crazy ideas on what their market value is, and they somehow, when in their behavior, they act like it's higher than that of like, like let's say like a 28-year-old single mother of 2. She in the West, she acts like her value from her behavior, maybe not from her ideology. I don't know what her ideology is, but in general, by looking at the behavior, they think they're better and higher value than a 21-year-old out of a developing world country, because that 21-year-old is going to be easier, almost 100% all of the time. They're going to be easier to deal with in terms of marriage and conditions of the marriage than some 28-year-old, single mother in the West that has 2 kids. 100%. Try it out. See if I'm wrong. So, you just got to get out there and explore and see. But there are single mothers everywhere, bro. No matter where you're going to go nowadays. Thoughts on a recent crypto crash. Also, thoughts on the Bitcoin maximalists. I mean, yeah, crypto crashed, but I mean, crypto crashing is a combination of multiple things. I mean, dude, this could be like a whole episode. I got so much to say on this. Bitcoin, stick to it. That's my humble estimation, not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, but I stick to Bitcoin. And I just dropped a video in the men's community talking about Ethereum, and basically it's like, bro, yeah. Anyways, I'm more of a Bitcoin maximalist to a degree. I mean, I do deal with alts, but mostly on the Ethereum network. But I generally use Ethereum to get more Bitcoin. I do not trust Ethereum. But also part of the crash is also inflation. I mean, you got to think about it. How How much is it really crypto crashing versus, our concept of fiat currency crashing? What do I mean by that? We're always looking at crypto in its dollar value, right? So one Bitcoin is $22,000. Well, actually, I don't know if my theory is working out right there. Actually, I might have come across that wrong. No, the crypto crash is real. Yeah, I'm seeing it wrong. You know what? I wanted to bring back blockchain bros anyway. Let's save that for blockchain bros, which is supposed to be today. But I missed my show because I was on John's show yesterday. So we'll discuss it on blockchain bro next Sunday. I'll bring it back. Let me see if what's his name is available, and we'll bring it back. Yeah. Have you ever considered marrying a student of knowledge, and would you think that they are far away from the issues a woman nowadays have? I mean, the beauty of marrying a woman of religion is that she's going to put the religion ahead of everything else. Her desires, her wants, her needs, or whatever else. Just like we all should. We should all put, call Allah, call Rasul ahead of everything else. Nothing comes before that, no matter how much we want it, right? And so we put call Allah, call Rasul, the say, Allah says in Allah, the saying of Allah and His Messenger, we put that above everything else. Well, a female student of knowledge will do the same thing, but that doesn't stop her from being a woman and having female and woman desires and wants. So just because she puts the religion ahead of every of her wants and her needs doesn't mean they're not there. Doesn't mean she doesn't have those female wants and needs. Just like you have your wants and needs of a man, and you'll put stuff to the side, like perfect example, sex. I don't know too many guys that have healthy sex drive, that don't want to have a lot of sex with a lot of different women, right? I mean, that's just real. We do want to have intercourse with multiple women, but call Allah, call Rasul, right? So what do? Instead of going smashing and dashing, hit and run like 80, 90 different women, we marry multiple women. But your desire is to get as many as possible, right? So your desire to get as many women as possible is overridden by the rules and regulations set by Allah and His Messenger. The woman's going to be the same way, no matter what you want and how you want it. What you want and how you want it. This camera focus. I'm trying to focus myself back in. It's going to take the back seat, to the religion. And so the woman who practices religion is going to be the same way. But that doesn't change the fact that she's a woman and she still has female wants and needs, and that you can disappoint her and make her upset, and make her not like you, even though she will give you her right. Give you your rights. Why am I throwing her in there? Even though she will give you your rights, it could be begrudgingly, and it could be this stupid thing. Focus. You gotta get it to focus on your face, from your hand to your face. There we go. So, that focus threw me off. So, yeah, she will give you your rights, but she's still a woman who still has womanly needs, and it could mess up your relationship if you don't know what you're doing, in sense of social dynamics with a woman. Even though she is religious, you will have an intact and sound marriage, but it won't be a happy one. And I think we've all seen those marriages where you see those people that are together and they're walking down the street and they're like, she's not smiling, he's not smiling, they don't hold hands. You can just look at them and you see they're not a happy couple. But how do they lie together? I mean, do you have to be happy? It's preferable, I think. But maybe it's not conducive to the stability of your relationship and your marriage, because is it necessary to be happy in order to stay together? So maybe it's for the better. Yeah, marry a student of knowledge. I mean, personally, I haven't met any. My social media, presence kind of prevents that. So, but I wouldn't be opposed to it at all. Obviously, it would put me in the hot seat. I'd have a lot of work to do. Yeah. So which is not bad actually. Slime American. What if wife meets up with male friends after marriage for coffee? Is this an instant divorce? Yes. It's an instant divorce for me. I make it I don't make it unclear. You do something like that, Hollis, you gone, man. American's done. I'm not no. Male friends. What are you doing, male friends anyway? What is a male friend? What? Then you're gonna meet them up for coffee. You're gonna meet up with them for coffee? Really? Okay. All right. Well, go have some more coffee with them, and don't come back. I don't go meeting female friends for coffee. Hey, Sharon, let's meet up for coffee. What? No. You want coffee with a guy? Come have coffee with me. You can have coffee with your brother, your uncle, your dad, our son. Who's this dude over here? What? Do you remember? I don't know if you remember if you saw that live. A brother, he messaged me and he says, Abuamerican, I should have listened to you. You were right. He married a sister that had male friends. And when they got into an argument, which they did, at like 2 a.m. while they were arguing, she called up these male friends and they came picked her up from her house, from her husband's house, and left with her. That's what male friends do. These are Muslim men driving to another Muslim man's house and taking his wife from the house at 2 a.m. No, I'm sorry. No male friends, because them dudes is always up to no good. Them male friend dudes are up to no good. He's not there because they were friends since kindergarten and whatever, yada, 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 yada. No, absolutely not. That's an instant divorce for me. I'll take her stuff, put it in the trash can, throw it outside. Not trash can, trash bag, where it belongs, like her. Here's your trash bag of stuff, you trashy woman. Goodbye. It's like, there's no go. No. If you don't mind me asking, bro, why are you still in Germany? What's going on there? Wouldn't it be better for you to live in the Middle East? I have family here. I have my kids here. My kids are German citizens. I've said this multiple times. So, yeah, I'm here because my kids are here. I do well in Germany, alhamdulillah. I have a good job. I get paid very well, alhamdulillah. I did the Middle East. I did the Middle East for like a total of 11 years. And although I want to live with the Muslims, I am, sorry, 1 second, wife is calling. And although, give me 1 second, guys. Let me just tell the wife, I'm like, and although I want to live amongst the Muslims in a Muslim country, my experience in the Gulf, I spoke about this in detail if you go back far enough on the channel. It wasn't good. My experience with the Khalij, it wasn't really good. I had some half decent. No, it was generally not good. So, yeah, no, I wouldn't want to live in the Middle East again, man. Let me see. Should I ask more than 3 brothers to support me in finding a sister for marriage, or just stick with one brother, which might take a few months? I'm trying to start process sooner. I say this before, and I say this all the time: spread a wide net, bro. This stuff takes time. And I mean, it's not bad, but you want to shorten the curve as much as possible. The wider the net you spread, the better it is for you. The more options you have, the less scarcity mentality you have. And so you make better decisions when you have less of a scarcity mentality. If in like 1 year you've spoken to one sister, when that one sister comes up, I guarantee you're gonna take the first offer she comes with, no matter how goofy or crazy it is, because you're thinking, man, one sister a year, oh, I better jump on this now. The 190,000 euro maher, sure, okay, I'll take it. What, male friends in the marriage contract? Okay, fine. But if you've got like 5, 6, 7, and 8 leads, moment a sister, you meet 3 sisters, 2 of them have good, manners, and they have good, stipulations or lack of stipulations in the contract, and the one comes with a crazy stipulation, you're going to be like, you know what? Yeah, I'm done. So it's better to have more to pick from than not. And women generally have a non-scarcity mentality when it comes to men, because men are so thirsty, and they just, they completely trash their honor and dignity to try and get with a woman. So it's better to have more options on your plate as a man than not. So spread a wide net. Don't just wait for one brother. That brother, he's got his life too, whoever that brother is. And I'm not throwing anybody under the bus, but the reality is, you might want to help a brother. Let's just say you're helping a brother, but you still got work, you got school, or whatever you're doing. You got like this, if you're doing gym, if you got extra projects on the side, like me, I'm writing another book. Helping a brother out becomes something like, oh yeah, that's right. You know what I mean? And so you don't know what this brother's going through in his life. He might just forget you for a week. You know what I mean? And then by the time he passes on information, gets back information, whatever else, and then that person's going through their life, and then they miss a week, or maybe they just completely forget because they don't know you directly like this brother does, and that brother has to follow up like 2 weeks out. I ain't heard nothing from them for 3 weeks. You see what I'm saying? There's too many opportunities in there for stuff to just like, take forever, so spread a wide net, and then just reduce it with vetting, and say, hey, this one is too demanding, this one's too goofy, this one's this one's that, whatever else, this one's irreligious. Spread a wider net, inshallah. No, I'm not saying they're not happy. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I meant at all. You're misinterpreting what I said. I'm saying the opportunity is there for unhappiness, because what happens is when you marry the student of knowledge, you can disregard her feminine attributes, in the sense that you see her like, okay, nothing matters to her but the religion. And this is important, and it should be like that. But it takes away her femininity and her ability to be a woman at the same time. Aisha radiallahu anha, she was well known for being very feminine, a woman. She was jealous. She did stuff like she chased the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam through the night, or he chased her actually, but she followed him in the night. Her jealousy, it's not a shameful thing. It's how women are. When the plate of food was sent to her, she smashed it. Feminine stuff. Did that make her less religious? No, obviously not. I don't think we'll find anyone who's probably more practicing in the ummah today than Mu'mineen Aisha radiallahu anha, right? But the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he knew how to deal with her. And a lot of brothers nowadays, they're just like, they got these crazy ideas that, okay, yeah, she's religious, that's good, whatever else. And then now I can just let go. I can relax now, I can chill. And she's still a woman, and she still wants the best man that she can possibly get as a woman. You see, this is where the confusion comes in, because when you look at the time of the Messenger of Allah, peace be upon him, who was a better man than him? So even back then, when we look at what women needed and the women had everything they needed. They had men who were good at being men. And then the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was sent wahi from Allah to teach those men who were good at being men on how to be good men. The balance was perfect. And nowadays, bro, I mean, somebody tell me, bro, are you good at being a man? Or are you a good man? Are you both? I'm not trying to be rude, but it's doubtful. You know what I'm saying? Because that balance, striking that balance, is near impossible nowadays. So if you're not actively right now in a combat sport and you're training hard and fighting guys, like actively sparring guys to understand your limits, to face your fears, because that's what the sparring is about. Getting in the ring with a man, you don't know what he has in terms of technique, combat skills, whatever else. He's going to come at you. He's going to try and knock you out. You're going to try and knock him out or tap him out or whatever sport you're picking, but it forces you to go into combat with him. This is closer to the reality of the time of the Messenger of Allah, peace be upon him, than not, because they had to go and fight with swords, and it was the same thing. He might be a great sword fighter. He might not be. I might be the great sword fighter, but I know he's trying to kill me. He had to face his fears, and it was real. Because it wasn't like there's a tap out and you get knocked out and then someone like picks you up 5 minutes later. That's it. You're done. So you had to be good at being a man. That's the women. That's the men those women had. They had men who were good at being men. And let there be no doubt in your mind, in general, that is way more important to women than being a good man is. This is why so many women go for the bad boys, because those guys are good at being men. And just from a biological standpoint of how Allah has created women, that's hyper important to women. Now, being a good man is also important, or Allah wouldn't have sent the religion down for us. But he sent the religion down to men who were good at being men. He didn't find a bunch of good men, or he didn't create a bunch of good men and then send down how to be good at being a man. No, it's the other way around. So, Allah, I mean, I would just say, all I'm saying is don't act like just because she's a student of knowledge that you ain't got to be hyper masculine. Not hyper masculine. You don't have to be hyper masculine, but you don't have to be good at being a man. You do. And this is what brothers do. This is a mistake they make. She's super religious, whatever else. And then you walking around her. Hey guys, my limp wrist and big belly from eating all that rice, skinny arms. Yo, you don't think she wants like a Khalid ibn Walid? The only one known to fight with two swords, you don't think she wants that guy? Like he wasn't religious at the same time? You don't think she wants an Ali known for his sword fighting skills? Of course she does. But the problem is, brothers want to let off the gas pedal because she's religious. I scored. Yeah, she's going to give you your rights. She's going to give you your haq. Of course, she's a student of knowledge. She understands religion well. She's going to give you your haq. Don't think she won't be miserable, though, because you're miserable. Because you're not her Khalid ibn Walid. You're not her Ali. You're not her Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And that doesn't mean you have to be those men, but you have to be her man in that degree in your time right now. No, that doesn't mean she's going to be upset. Doesn't mean she's going to be miserable. I'm not saying they're going to be miserable. I'm just saying the opportunity to make her miserable is there more than ever. And a lot of brothers do this. It's what I've seen. But at the same time, those marriages last because the religion comes first. The religion comes before everybody else's happiness. And the happiness comes from, first and foremost, practicing the religion. I didn't say they're not happy. I'm just saying the opportunity for sisters to end up not happy in those in those relationships because they're religious, it presents itself. But at the end of the day, they are the most stable, most stable relationships. What did you study and what function did you start in, and any advice on how to get promotion to climb up the ladder in the workforce? Okay, so when I started studying, I didn't finish my degree. I started studying mechanical engineering. Then I switched over. Well, not mechanical. Excuse me. That's not correct. I started off with automotive engineering. I wanted to do automotive engineering. I was lazy. It wasn't even really hard. Actually, I mean, the study stuff wasn't hard at all. I was just lazy. Then I went into environmental engineering because I thought, automotive engineering, I was just too lazy to keep doing it because I didn't want to work at home. So I thought, okay, environmental engineering is going to be easier. It wasn't. It was probably harder. And then I went and I became an English teacher. I did like what do you call it? I did a diploma to be an English teacher. But really, I was a logician. I did logistics with the military, like 13 years, U.S. military. And that was my specialty field. I ended up working like various random jobs here in Germany that led me into the position that I'm in now. I don't really know how to tell that story, man. I think climbing the ladder is a bit goofy. I would say don't try and climb the ladder, man. I think climbing the ladder is stupid. And it's not stupid. That's not wrong. That's not right either. I'm not really sure I'm the right person to ask this. Here's what I do. Let me just give you what Abuamerican does. I job jump I'll job jump for 100 euros, not for 100 euros, not, but I'll job jump for like, you gonna pay me 2,000 euros more? Bye. You gonna pay me 1,500 more? Hey, just last year I jumped up 2,000. Now you're gonna pay me 1,500 more. That means in a 12-month period I jumped up like 3,500 euros. You see what I'm saying? So what am I gonna do? I'm gonna jump where the money goes. I'm like, yo, you don't want to give me a spot up the ladder? Guess what? You know, somebody over there. Hey, look, this is my experience. I've been doing this for these guys, and I did it successfully. I want to come to you, but I need you to pay me more. Right now, these guys are paying me this. Okay, here's the offer. We'll take you. Okay, hey, look, boss. These guys, they want to hire me for this much more. So that means you need to not only match this deal, but you need to increase upon it. They're offering me 5,000 more a year. I don't know. Let's go with some low number. That's a low ball number. They're offering me 5,000 more a year. That means I'm going to need at least like 8,000 more from you. So I need you to pay me 8,000 more a year to stay. Because if I don't stay, I'm getting 5,000. So you want me to stay? Paying me 5,000 isn't enough. I need to go somewhere else. You see what I'm saying? Paying me 5,000 more isn't enough to really get me to stay. They're gonna pay me that already. So I need you to beat their deal. Because you have to now show me that you really want me. They've showed me they want me in tune of 5,000 more than what I'm making right now. You have to show me that I'm worth more to stay than lose. So that means in order for me to stay, that you value me more than what they're willing to pay. That means you have to pay more than what they're offering. And if they won't pay, and they generally won't, then leave. Climbing the ladder. What are they going to give you? Like 10, 15% a year, or per promotion? And maybe you might get a promotion and when it was talking about promotion, we're talking about like a major jump or something like that. How often is that going to happen, man? Not too often. Not unless you're in a department where like guys that are going into retirement a whole bunch, The opportunity to climb up ladder, everybody's trying to do that, So you're fighting like 20 dudes for the same job. Sometimes you come to a job, some guy's been there forever, and he's like, next in line to get the promotion. Job jump, man. Job jump. Get in the field, get good at it, and then use that as proof that you have the ability to function in a position, and then start applying to other places. And when someone makes you an offer your company, say, hey, look, they're offering me this, I'm gonna need more to stay. And if they don't, want to pay you that, then that means they don't value you there that much. They don't see the value in your work like that other company does. Jump the ladder. Guess what? Once you're gone, if you're really good as you thought you were, or as you really good as if you're really that good, give it a year, reapply back at your old place. They'll give you the money. Then you'll make a leap up the ladder in the same company, but you have to leave first. And I've seen it happen, but just sitting there climbing the ladder, slow pace, whatever else, I think those days are kind of dead. Allahu Alam. Allahu Alam. But sisters are doing it, man. Sisters are willing to fight over this stuff, like having male friends and whatnot. Sisters are literally out here fighting their husbands over female friends. Over male friends. It's crazy. Should I drop out of college to work a full-time job? What do you think? If you're studying something like, gender studies, probably. But if you're studying engineering, one of the STEM fields, I would say you're a crazy fool to do that. If you have if you have an opportunity for a high-paying job, after your studies are over, I wouldn't do it. But if you're going to come out and you're going to have I don't know, a whole bunch of student loan debt, and then you're going to make like 35,000 a year coming out of university at the first, entry level job with your degree, you might want to reconsider, My dad's non-Muslim and wants to open a pizza shop with me. Only problem is they sell pork. Should I do it? No. Just tell him, hey, no pork, pops. Let's find a replacement. He's your dad. Talk to him. Why are you scared to tell your dad, hey, look, Dad, I'm Muslim. I can't do this. This would be impermissible money for me. But what we could do, Dad, don't give him your problems as a Muslim. He's not a Muslim. He's not going to understand. He's not going to care. If anything, he might even even be more against it. So, I remember a military commander told me one time, he says, don't give me problems, give me solutions. Bring a solution. Say, hey, Pops, you know what? I understand pork, but hey, look at this. There's this beef salami, because generally it's the salami slices, that everybody likes. Say, hey, there's this beef salami, there's this turkey bacon. We can put that on there. Instead, it tastes just as good. Don't just talk about it. Actually bring it, make a pizza with it, and have him eat it. If you're gonna do a pizza business with it, convince him, sell it to him. Say, hey, Pops, here, taste this pizza. Tell me what you think of this. I'm working on a new recipe. And if he likes it, say, hey, you know what? That salami right there, that's beef. We don't have to sell pork, Pops. It makes it easier for me. Hey, Pops, taste this like barbecue bacon pizza. I had barbecue bacon pizza in Qatar. Ooh, beef bacon. Bro, bring him some beef bacon barbecue pizza. Say, hey, Pops, try this. Don't tell him it's beef. And when he's like, yo, this is good. Say, hey, Pops, that's beef. That's not pork. We can do this without pork. Let's make it happen. But if he insists upon it, you're gonna have to make your own way. It is what it is. My family ain't clear racist, but Bengali culture looks down on a dark bride. I want a black wife. How should I handle my family treating wife badly? Should I marry a black woman and she'll get treated badly? I mean, if you know they're going to treat her badly, then I'd probably you better be ready to stand up for her, and like I said, be her Khalid ibn Walid, against your family. Because they should, if she's a Muslim, they should respect your wish, and your desire, your preference for a woman. But if you're not willing to do that, if you're not willing to stand up to them, and defend your wife, then it's probably best to just not do it. There's no need to, marry a woman and put her through a bunch of hardship because you won't stand up to your family. And I'm not attacking you, of course, Abdul, but I'm just saying, if you're not going to be that guy for her, and if you can't be firm with your family, but polite at the same time, and make that just one hell of a stance, because it's your wife at the end of the day. If you marry a black woman or a white woman or whatever else, and your family don't like her because of her race, hey, you know what? I love y'all, but if you don't back up off my wife, you don't slow down right now, what we gonna do here? Because that's my wife, and you're talking about my wife. Now, I love you, Pops, but I will Superman punch you across this table. Don't Superman punch your dad. But you know what I'm saying? If you're not willing to stand up and fight, on behalf of that woman, don't do it, man. Yeah, don't do it. And then they need to they need to get rid of that it's ignorant, it's ignorant, that ignorant idea and mentality that, I don't know, based upon, race and ethnicity or whatever else, yeah, because it is ignorant, and it's used as an insult, but I don't see ignorance as an insult, because ignorance can be cleared. Ignorance can be removed. Stupidity can't be, but ignorance can. So if they're being ignorant, they can be educated. But if they're being stupid, then they can't. They're just, by birth, they're just goofy. So this is ignorant behavior, and it can be cleared up. It can be taught. You can teach from the book and the sunnah. You can remove that ignorance with the religion. Go with that, inshallah. I don't think so. I think people are scared to be racist to me. I'm a big muscular black dude. I'm 6'3", dude. I'm walking around muscular. I mean, not recently, since I've moved out to, the Berlin area. I haven't been to combat sports, but, I do combat sports. People generally leave me the hell alone, So, hey, how many 6'3" black people you going to be big muscular black dudes you're going to go around being racist to? It's just not something that really happens. It's just, the reality is, being fit and being big, it makes a big difference, and then, so I combine that with actually knowing how to fight, so. Because there's big muscular black dudes that don't know how to fight, But for me,
I think what you mostly faces there, people underestimate you.
Yeah, I do face underestimation. That is a big deal. In the workplace, I face a lot of underestimation. People expect me to automatically fail, and then I exceed by far what they expect. And then, yeah, actually, I have faced racism in the sense that they have tried to set me up for failure. In the workplace, I worked at a few places where they actually tried to set me up for failure consistently. But they never did it in my face. Never. Like one guy said, this guy called you a nigger. I was like, but he didn't call it to me in my face. He was scared to do that. He never said it to my face. So yeah, I mean, I suppose I have faced racism, but not directly. Secondary racism, like secondary smoke, secondhand smoke. They always try to give me trouble, but never directly. Mm. Oh, look at this. I guess someone blocked that person. Yeah, blocked them. Good.
I'll do that.
Oh, thank you.
That's one thing.
She's a missing feminine and never been married. Only downsides: she doesn't wear hijab, and she has 10K IG followers. Should I initiate marriage or no? I'm big on people not knowing what my woman looks like. Now you got like over 10,000 people who know what your girl look like. I like the idea that that not too many people, maybe because women they do goofy stuff, and there's always got that non-hijab time, where some girls walked around without hijab and whatnot. But in general, like if she's like my wife right now, nah, I mean me personally, 10,000 IG followers uncovered. I personally wouldn't do it. I'm not saying don't do it. I don't know how her religion is. I mean, you say she's submissive, you know, um, check her religion, bro. But if her religion is she's got a religion that allows her, her practice and her understanding of it allows her to let like 10,000 non-mahram. And I go with the conclusion that they're men. I don't care what anybody says. I mean, I automatically have to go with the worst case scenario that 10,000 men have seen her uncovered, probably more, because just of like, impressions and whatnot.
Why not mold her? If she's submissive, she will do anything he talks.
You could, but then everybody doesn't see your girl too. Everybody. If she's got 10,000 followers, you know how many impressions she probably has on like just a single post?
Yeah, what kind of post though?
I don't know. He said she's uncovered and she's on social media. So a 5,000, and I can tell you this from my social media. So if you got one post that has like 1,000 views, the impressions are like maybe 15, 20,000. That means it's gone across the screen to like 15, 20,000 people, although they didn't interact with it. They scrolled past it. They saw it on their feed. Hey, you want your wife out there like that? I really don't, I don't know, bro. I mean, I personally wouldn't want to, but I mean, yeah. And I've never really like dealt with a woman who's like hard and deep on social media like that. That isn't a hot wreck. Um, I met two sisters that were like, pretty heavy into social media, but not in a good way. I mean, there's some sisters that are heavy into social media, but they're not like all over it. Like, how do you say this? Uncovered. But even one of the sisters that was covered, she was just like, ooh, man, she was a mess. Yeah. I personally wouldn't. Not me, bro. I wouldn't personally, but. But yeah, my wife says she's submissive. She'll do anything. 10,000 followers is a lot of attention to give up. So I don't know. She's used to like a high amount of attention. You're competing with that. Remember that you're competing with her social media for attention. Question: if a sister says she doesn't want to speak to you online because it's fitna for her, and she doesn't want to lose Baraka with you and her, but would rather speak in person with Wali, I didn't go speak to her. It's better. It's more appropriate. Do it. Inshallah. Does this show a lack of desire, breaking rules for alphas, making rules for betas, or does it mean her Islamic practicing deen supersedes that? It's like I was talking about earlier. Her deen supersedes everything else. It might be her desire to talk to you, but she puts the religion first. That's a good thing, man. Go see her. That's a good sign. This is literally what I was talking about earlier, where it's like the woman's putting her religion ahead of her desires. This is a very positive sign, So I would say do it, man. And in regards to you. So that means inshallah that translates into, even if she's like, she's not happy with something, she's still going to give you your rights as her husband, even if she's displeased with you and she's upset with you. Unlike, the standard modern sister where it's like, oh, I'm not happy with him, and so I'm not gonna sleep with them. I'm not gonna talk to him. I'm not gonna do this. I'm not gonna cook for him. I'm not gonna whatever. She's just gonna be real crappy towards you. No, she's gonna give you your hak. So that's a good thing, man. It's really good. Since casually dating is out of the question, how would you advise brother to get good with intersexual dynamics and game in order to come into a marriage already having game. I mean, I talked about this in multiple shows. It's like game is more than just women, so use game all the time. Make it a part of your personality. Make it a part of your character. How you interact at work with people using game is going to be the same way. When I say make it part of part of personality and character, the way I talk with my women is generally how I talk at work. I mean, I'm not like a different person with a woman than I am with other people. My cocky funny is with everybody. I'll crack jokes, whatever else, probably at the most inappropriate times, like I do with my women, I'll say the most inappropriate stuff. I'm not gonna get inappropriate, but the context can be inappropriate, but it'll fit perfectly and it'll be funny, so you just got to learn how to make these interactions non goofy and non awkward and whatever else, and that's what game is. So if you could do that in any environment, obviously you can do it with a woman, but the problem is a lot of guys, they get in front of a woman and they get intimidated, and it's like, why are you scared of a woman, man? What you scared of? What's she gonna do? She gonna scream or something? What do you think, she can punch you? Well, I mean, so the same game that you use in terms of social dynamics, in terms of work or whatever else, is going to be the same social dynamic that you can use with women. The problem is that a lot of guys, they have this persona. It's like, I go to work and I'm like, I'm Mr. Professional guy, hey, Ted, how you doing? It's like me, I go to work, man. I'm talking to people just like this, and I'm like, I'm working in management level, I'm working at upper management level. So it's like, I don't care, what your title is, I care. If you're good at what you do, if you're good at who you are and what you are, that's nothing else matters, because that's all that counts. It's all people are concerned with. And this applies across the board. Do you perform? So at your job, you perform. You know what? You can be that chill, cool guy that you are all the time. You ain't got to act like a professional, because you are professional. Is it super chat? Oh, super chat didn't pop up. That's weird. I'll check it in a second. And it's the same thing with women. If you perform, guess what? She's not going to care. I don't see it. It's not here. There's no super chat.
It's not the super chat, I think, because it's 15 months member.
Oh, he just membership. Someone joined membership, but I still don't see it, which is weird. You know what? Yeah, you know what, bro? I think it was blocked. I don't see it.
GZ?
No, it's not here. It's not on my thing. It's not on my list. Oh, I'll read it from the phone. Hold on 1 second. So GZ, member for 15 months. Assalamu alaikum. Is a wife complaining that her husband is not taking her on traveling trips legitimate? The Quran tells a woman to stay at home. Time for the unpopular opinions. So, do I have it here? There's a book. It's a series of books. It's like 8 volumes, I think. Fatwa Islamiyya. Dar Sunnah, I think, sells it. And in Dar Sunnah, it says the rights of the wife are food, clothing, and shelter. Her rights are 3. And that's it. Khalas. Nothing else. You can find it in that book. Now, the reason why I'm talking about this and why it's unpopular is because it's in, and this will show you how frivolous travel will look. Now, let me finish before anybody goes off and goes crazy. But this tells you how frivolous travel is. I mean, travel with your wife, obviously. I say travel with your wife. The opinion of Abuamerican is travel with your wife. Enjoy, have some good time with her. Why not? But in this book, they talk about medical treatment and medicine. And it is specific in relation to these 3 rights that she has, that you are not even obligated to pay for her medical treatment nor her hospitalization. You don't have to do that. It is not her haq as your wife to medicine nor medical treatment. Now, a lot of people get shocked. Oh, Abuamerican said, no, Abuamerican didn't say anything. You can find this in Fatwa Islamiyya. The 4 schools of, there is no difference of opinion on this matter. Well, actually, there is a recent difference of opinion on the matter, but it's very recent. where they're saying like, if this is the adat, if this is the culture, and this is like the I think it's urf, what is it, urfa? If this is like the customs of the people to do this, then you should probably do it. But in general, the raw Islamic stance is that you don't even have to pay for her medical treatment nor her medicine. People were telling me I had to make tawbah for this statement. That the ulama, the four imams made this before the ulama of our time made this statement. But I'm supposed to make tawbah for this. The opinion of the four imams and our modern ulama who put it in Fatwa Islamiyah. Where does travel fit in with this? If you don't have to pay for her medical treatment, if they say her haq is only 3, and of those 3 is not even medical treatment and medicine, where's travel fit in this? Now, it's the opinion of Abuamerican. It's Abuamerican's opinion. You should pay for your wife's medical treatment. You should take your wife traveling. You should do these things. Why not? Do it. What's it going to hurt you? Take her somewhere. Let her go see some nice stuff with your wife, man. Enjoy your time with her, Your time is limited on this dunya. Enjoy it with your wife. Have fun with her. Definitely, definitely take her to the hospital if she needs it, They're saying you don't even have to drive her to the hospital. It's literally in the book. You can read it. I read it. The video is still on my channel. I read it straight out of the book verbatim. You ain't even got to take her to the hospital, bro. Take your wife to the hospital, though, if she gets sick. Buy her medication if she gets sick, Don't do that. Just understand you don't have to, but it's my opinion you should, And I'm not arguing with the ulama. I don't have that authority. It's from the do that type of stuff. It sounds wild to me to not do that. Although Islamically it's correct and it's established and sound. Take her traveling, Go ahead, bro. Take her on a trip, Enjoy your time with her. But make sure you smash, It ain't for free. Girl, I ain't bring you here for nothing. There's sand at this beach. Well, why did I bring you? I brought my halal sand. There's a bunch of haram sand here. Can we please? What?
That's a payment. It's a method of payment.
We really just gonna walk around here and just be like, what the heck? I'm out here suffering, girl. Nah. Yeah, and for some reason I didn't see that question. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Taqabbalallah minna wa minkum Eid Mubarak. My brother Nasir Alameen. Alhamdulillah, I love that brother, mashallah. Your brother is mashallah. How does a 20-year-old man approach getting his aunt to convert back to Islam? She didn't grow up in a great culture. She doesn't like Islam for that reason. Just patience and dawah, sabr and dawah. Just stick with it. Continue to give her dawah. Be a good example, and just sabr and dawah. Yeah, that's all you can do, bro. You can't do anything else. Allah guides who He pleases. Hidayah min Allah. Guidance is from Allah. Make a lot of dua for her. Ask Allah for her guidance. But this is in Allah's hands, not in your hands. Give her dawah and be patient. And you can't do anything else. And make dua to Allah to soften her heart. Give me some advice, wisdom. I want to wait till my degree is over 3 years and go to Pakistan and get married rather than giving into desire and marrying here with 1 or 2 years from UK. Well, it sounds like you got a plan, bro. I'm not really sure what you want. What? Well, it sounds like a plan. Don't give in to desire and wait to 3 years. I'm confused. Sounds like you figured this out on your own, bro. Okay, don't give in to bro. I want you to do this. Don't give in to desire. Wait 3 years and get married in Pakistan. You see what I'm saying? You kind of got a plan there already, bro. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not really sure how I can advise you there. Well, you got to figure it out, man. Okay, it sounds like a solid plan. Stick to it, bro. Ask again, maybe in a different way, because it seems like you've got that figured out. Okay, I see you followed up here. Mentality on wanting to wait till rather than giving into my desires and marrying from the West. I see what you're saying. Okay, now that helps a little bit more. I was like, wait, what? I'm not a man with supper personally. I have to be married. I'm not a man with supper. I got a lot of testosterone. I'm the quintessential stereotypical black guy in that regards. I got to smash, man. I got to get my smash on. I'm not going to act like I'm not that guy when it comes to women. So I absolutely have to be married personally. And I'm not. That's not an attack. Some people take it. Oh, my testosterone's fine too. Abuamerican. Yeah. Well, if it's fine, then I'd say get married, bro. Don't be out there putting yourself at risk. Making yourself vulnerable to the fitness of the dunya. As for me personally, I've always been a person that needs to be married, so I've always been married. But if you got that strength, I don't have that strength. I don't. I'm not gonna lie to myself. I don't have that strength, so I have to be married. But if you got that strength, bro, khalas, man, then it's a superpower. That you can just cut off the world of women and whatnot and focus. I need women to focus because if not, I'm like sweating like
Stop.
I'm not that bad. But y'all know I like to play. But I gotta be married, I ain't gonna lie. I'm just like, I'll be focused for 3 days and I'm just like, where's those sisters at? all right. And then I'll go get married, So but if you can be a brother who can hold it out, and it's a plan to where it's not gonna cause you any sort of fitna, in any way, shape, or form. Gosh, man.
Bros can fasting forever.
Exactly, then take action on it. But me, I gotta be married, What's your thoughts on it? I mean, do it. I know a brother. What's your thoughts on a UK brother marrying a girl from the US? I know a US brother who married a UK sister. They're happily married. Alhamdulillah. I mean, yeah, I'm not big on this whole culture race thing. Khalas, we Muslims, man, get married. So yeah, inshallah, man. Allah grant you tawfiq. I mean. Tips on betting for jealousy and future spouse pledging. You can't. They're all going to be jealous, bro. There's no way you can bet for that. Aisha already Allahu anha was not notorious, excuse me. That's an inappropriate word to use for Mu'mineen. She was well known for her jealousy. Astaghfirullah, incorrect wording, excuse me. She was well known for her jealousy over the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. She was highly jealous, for him and of him. So this is not something it's not realistic to expect her not to be jealous. She's going to be jealous. That's if Aisha radiallahu anha, who saw Wahi come down, she lived in the household of Wahi, was jealous. What do we expect from our sisters today? Don't put that on them. They're not capable of that. Our mother Aisha radiallahu anha wasn't capable of that being, not jealous. So don't put that expectation on our sisters, inshallah. She's going to be jealous. We have to find a way to manage that in a good way, inshallah. Oops. Phoenix Knight with a $10 super chat. Barakallahu fee. Abuamerican. Why do brothers say you must be rich in order to marry in polygyny, yet make an exception for a single marriage? What exactly is required, as in financially? Barakallahu fee. I don't know why brothers say you got to be rich. I think it's just because brothers got these crazy standards, living standards or expectations of what you should have, in life. A lot of these brothers, they think you got to have this house, that car, this job, whatever else. And then when you have that, and a lot of this is cultural expectations, before you get one wife. So the idea of getting a second wife, they're automatically multiplying that, if you look at some of these London brothers, they got all this stuff, and all these houses and all this, whatever else. And so in his mind, he has to have multiple sets of that in order to get married. And that's not really, to get multiply married. And that's not really the case. The Messenger of Allah, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, at his death, he had 9 wives and they all lived under one roof. They had their own apartments, but under one roof. I think all of us been to Mecca and Medina. It wasn't spectacularly big places. It's just what we've done is we've taken Western ideology and lifestyle and made it ours as Muslims. And it's Muslims are technically minimalists, not people who like extravagant and whatever else. Extravagance is looked down upon in the book of the Sunnah. I'm not saying you got to make your women live poor because you want to have more than one woman. No. But at the same time, it doesn't have to be like, I live in a massive house here. There's no way that I'm putting multiple women in massive houses like this. I'm in a massive house like this because I got a massive family with, this particular family. Does another woman need this? No. So she might want it. Oh, I want a big house like that too. Well, okay, go ahead and knock out a whole gang of kids and you'll get one too. You know? Uh, So this isn't what equality is when they look at this type of stuff, and you could check with the ulama. This is not correct. A woman with 9 kids is not going to need or a woman with 9 kids is going to need more space requirements, than a woman that doesn't have any kids, Is it unjust that she has a bigger house and she has 9 kids and this one has like a single room apartment, or a 2-bedroom place or whatever else? You don't have to be rich for this, man. You ain't got to be rich for this. You can't be broke, that's for sure, but you can't be rich either. You don't have to be rich. It's just a whole bunch of like modern day interpretation and, and cultural expectations that people are trying to translate into the religion. And it's like their cultural expectations and lifestyles are not the religion. But yeah. What is the sorry, let me get to the rest of this. What exactly required as in financially? I mean, you got to be able to feed her, clothe her, put a roof over her head, obviously. You should do that comfortably, inshallah. Numbers, I don't want to get into numbers, but it's not as high as a lot of people like think it is. I mean, it's high. It's basically, some people don't make as much as it costs. But then if you're doing well, it's not significant, but it is significant. I don't know if I'm making sense here. I sounded kind of crazy, don't I? It's not expensive, but it's not cheap either. That's what I'm trying to say. I don't want to get into, into details of finances and money. What have you the best method? What I guess you say, what is the best method in giving dawah at the workplace? What to start with, AG, if they show some edge? Start with Aqidah and Manhaj always. Start with Aqidah always. Aqidah first. Knowing about hijab, why we don't eat pork, why we don't drink alcohol, none of that stuff will save the person in the grave. Understanding who their Lord is, who start with the basic Aqidah, the rights of Allah upon His creation, and that the Messenger of Allah is almost the final messenger. Basically, everything it'll take to understand the Shahada, all the subsidiary details, it's not going to benefit them. But if they understand the testification of faith, if they understand that there's only Allah, that is worthy of worship without equal, without partners, without intermediaries, and that He's the one who should be worshipped alone, like I said, without equals, partners, and intermediaries, and that He's creator of all and everything, and that the Messenger of Allah, it was the final messenger of Allah, and He came to teach the religion, and He did so completely, and truthfully. That's what's important. But teaching them like, hey, yeah, this is why we don't drink pork. This is why women wear hijab. That's all nice and good. It's just like, curious facts in that sense, but without the proper aqidah, it's kind of pointless, No, it doesn't prove it. It's just your interpretation of that. So, I mean, no. How does that prove? What? You people are weird sometimes. You see, this is ignorance right here. It's like, where does someone just like? How did you extrapolate that? Why did you come up with that? So, explain to me how you came up with that, please. So, explain to me, please. I'm going to give you some time. I'll give you some time to tell me how you come to that conclusion based off the fatwa of the ulama. Go ahead, because I'm really curious. Brothers, this is the type of stuff that we deal with in the 21st century. This is why, see, this right here, massive red flag. If this is a woman, then 100% do not marry this kind of woman right here, where she like extrapolates one thing that has nothing to do with another thing. She's talking about working career and the statement that it's not your obligation to take care of her medical treatment. Well, you know what? Let's say this was a widespread practice and I understood this. Guess what? If my daughter is in a situation her husband doesn't want to do it, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to do it. Her father's going to do it. Her brother will do it, guaranteed. If we understand that's what the score is, then we're going to do it for her, because that is Islam. She is under the care of her men. And if it's not the obligation of one man to take care of her, it's the obligation of another man to take care of her. So if she ends up in the hospital, guess what? It becomes, I'm not saying it's an obligation because they didn't say it's an obligation, but it becomes my personal obligation as my blood to take care of her. Well, I'm sorry, Ali, Allah, whatever else, that your family's a bunch of bums and they won't take care of you. I'm sorry that your husband is a bum and that your father is a bum and that your brother is a bum and that your uncles are bums. Literally, I'm not saying this literally, but if they won't take care of you, then they are a bunch of bums. I'm speaking hypothetically here. I'm not insulting your family. I'm just saying. But it doesn't automatically mean you need to be independent and make your own money. I need to go to work. Oh, I got to go free mix. Go ahead. Go free mix. Because that's what you want to do. Really, that's the foundation of your statement. Let's be honest here. I don't know why we lie to each other about it. See, I get mad because you people are so stupid. I really hate you dumb people. I don't like you with a passion. So just be honest. Stop lying to us. Don't come here with your BS and start like spitting like crazy stuff that it makes no sense at all in connection from one subject to the next. Makes zero sense. Just say you want a free mix. Just go say if you want a free mix. Go free mix. Just go do your stuff. Do whatever it is that you want to do. You want to go hang out at the workplace with Mark and Anthony and drink coffee, while chilling in the break room with them. I see it at my job all the time. Sisters over there hanging out with a bunch of dudes. Be that girl. Go ahead. Knock yourself out, because that's what you want to be. That's what half of y'all sisters want to be nowadays. So go be that girl. But don't come over here trying to extrapolate from the fatwa of people of knowledge who spent their lifetime studying the religion and came with a proper conclusion based upon the proof and evidence from the book and the sunnah, with your stupid conclusion 5 seconds into listening to something on YouTube. Man, it's easy to dislike you people. It's easy to dislike you people. Wallahi, may Allah hit you with a bus or guide you. May your fingers be struck off of your hand, or may Allah guide you. Because people like you talking it serves no purpose and no point. It just really doesn't. You just, wallahi, kalb. I hate people like this. You think the religion is your toy and you just play with it how you want to. I'm just going to make some stuff up and just run around with it and just start talking about stuff after people of knowledge with knowledge said something. You people are animals. I hate you people. Wallahi, I hate you people, because you act like the religion is just some sort of game. Like you could just start making stuff up on your own out of the blue. And because I don't know what you think, if you think at all. You just start saying the dumbest crap that comes out of your mouth. It's like when the backflow of a toilet, when it reverse vomits all the crap and the piss out of it. That's you people when you start talking out of your butthole about the religion. You don't know anything. You're stupid. Shut up. Just shut up. Go study your religion and shut up. You ain't even seen the fatwa of the scholars. You haven't seen why they came to their conclusions. Nothing. And you just out of your freaking butthole start farting dumb stuff like this in public. Wallahi, haywan. I'm gonna have to get off air. I hate you people for the sake of Allah to do this. Wallahi, I get angry for the sake of Allah. I can't stand you people. Just animals. Whew. Excuse me, guys. Yes, my first marriage was in my early 20s. Absolutely. Excuse me, guys. I get mad for the sake of the law. It's like people just ignorant, man. Just, they don't know nothing about religion. They start talking about it, Well, that's proof. That's proof that I can go do goofy. Okay. All right. I hate it. Wallahi, I hate it, man. I get mad for the sake of Allah. You gotta forgive me. I mean, different levels of jealousy. What's different levels of jealousy? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't understand. I mean, jealousy is jealousy. I mean, if she's going to physically attack you in jealousy, then okay, that's a level of jealousy that can't be tolerated. But you can't test for that before marriage. But I mean, anything else, it's kind of like, you know what I mean? So, I mean, I don't know how do you measure that? Yeah, if she attacks you, but how are you going to find that out before marriage? You can't bet for that, really. Because what a woman says and what she does are two different things. Now, there's a brother, he's dealing with a situation where his wife actually attacks him. He's been talking to me on Instagram, and his he got married. He just out of the blue, he just married, and his wife physically attacks him. But apparently, it's something that he can deal with. It's not like she's swinging a blade at him or something, or a baseball bat. She's just like slapping him or whatever else. I'm not saying that's okay. It's not okay. But she she's upset with him. But apparently it's a tolerable degree of jealousy because not everything has fallen off. He's like, some areas have picked up and they've been more positive, and some areas that she's just all over the place. So I would say the basis of, your expectation should be just jealousy in general, and then when you marry, that's when you really find out how far it goes, but anything less than like actual physical attacks, I think or like, just unacceptable statements. Like some women, I've heard this, and I've seen it actually. I think I've seen it. Have I seen it? No, I've only heard it. They'll say statements of kufr, statements of disbelief to just try and anger you and trigger you in order to divorce her. And whether they sincerely mean it or not are two totally different things. But she shouldn't be saying it. But that's how hard and heavy her jealousy triggers her emotional condition to actually just start doing and saying crazy stuff. I literally find that they are personally out of control, of their person and their character and their personality when they get in these conditions in their states. They're literally like a madman. They're literally like crazy people, and Allah knows best. Try and make the excuses for her sisters as best as possible, but there does have to be some limits, and there does have to be self-control, obviously. If it wasn't there, if they weren't capable of it, Allah wouldn't have allowed us as men to take them as, multiple wives. So, I think you have to look at that, Yeah. Phoenix Knight with $5 super chat. Jazakallah khair again. Barakallah feek. Abuamerican, did you develop a zeal and protective jealousy of how did you, of the religion? When can we exercise the jealousy of the deen in a Kafir country? Believe it or not, I used to be an imam. I used to be the khatib of a masjid. And when I was the khatib of the masjid, it was about like maybe close to 2 years I was the khatib there. I used to give the khutbah, the Jummah khutbah every Friday. I studied a lot, and I studied hard, and I used to travel a lot to sit with the Mashaykh. I actually sat with Sheikh Rabia, Sheikh Obaid, Sheikh Mohammed Madkhali. Back when things were okay, I sat with the Kuwaiti Mashaykh. I've been around, and I got to sit with a lot of our scholars, and spend time with them. Alhamdulillah. And so, you end up dealing with like a lot of crazy and stuff. And I guess it kind of stems from like, knowing the truth. This protective jealousy is knowing the truth and then hearing people just like start to like spout stuff that you're like, yo, that's wrong, bro. Sheikh so-and-so said this and this scholar said that, and it says this in the book of the Sunnah, it says that in the book of the Sunnah. And then the people keep going, you're like, and so it builds up this kind of like anger, like, yo, I just gave you proof and dalil. I gave you the haq. I literally, some people, I bought them the book. I was like, hey, here's the book. Read this book. It's in here, bro. What you're saying is incorrect because you've been saying this for like a long time. So here's the book and read it, And then it's like, they're like, no, I ain't gonna read that, bro. I ain't taking that. You're like, wait, no, I'm telling you, you're wrong. You're speaking about Allah's religion. And then it just came out to me in my heart, like, yo, these people, they know they're wrong, but they don't care. And then after a while, I noticed that this is a pattern. in behavior. And I started getting mad for the sake of Allah. It's like, you people, man, y'all just really like, y'all out here just making this up as you go along. And this wasn't given to us for that. This isn't our job to do that. We hear and we obey. When Allah and his messenger say something, it's khalas, we hear and we obey. Brothers, my wife said some stuff on Twitter the other day that was obviously incorrect. We didn't know this. We didn't have a clue. And the brother presented some hadith to us. Man, what do? We deleted the post. Khalas, man. It was a pretty good post too. It was like, man, that was a good post. It was, wasn't it? It was a really good post. We deleted it. Khalas, man. It's like, it's incorrect. It turned out to be something that's a kabair. It's a major issue in Islam. It's considered to be a major sin, a big one. So he's like, okay, we didn't know. The brother presented his proof. We deleted. Khalas. We have no opinion. We have no personal say or, well, I feel. Yeah, that doesn't exist. And so when you see people out here, it's like you give them the haq, you give them the proof, you show them this stuff, you read it to them, you get them the proof. And I kind of left it because it's like, I felt like I was giving people bad manners, which is why I stopped, the khatib job. And I stopped, like I actually was in, trying to, be a da'i at the time, because I don't have a good way with people. I think, as y'all have noticed from my YouTube channel, I don't really have a good way with people. I have very limited patience for people who reject something that's obviously correct. And there comes a point where it's like, when you start showing people the haq, there's nothing left but anger for the sake of Allah. It's like, you are a rejecter. And so, I developed it like that, just studying the religion and teaching it. When can we exercise the jealousy of the deen in a kafir country? Generally, I expect the kuffar to kuffar. I have higher expectations of the Muslims than the non-Muslims. So the non-Muslims, they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. In my humble estimation, they're disbelievers. What do you expect from them? You expect them to respect the religion. They didn't respect the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he walked amongst them to the point that they fought him. That they tried to kill him. So when I come along, they start talking about me and my religion and whatnot. Yeah, I get mad for the sake of Allah. I'll, beat them around the head and the neck with logic, reason. Of course, the book and the sunnah. But really, they're doing what they're supposed to be doing, which is disbelieve and disbelievers. And so it's kind of like, whatever, which seems to hurt them more than anything else when you ignore them and you take away, because what they're trying to do is they're trying to rile you up and they're trying to trigger you, and they don't have that strength. They don't have that, I don't have high expectations from them. The moment they they come with some low blow, whatever else, or some stupid statement, I'm just like, I really didn't expect much more from you. Pig eating, alcohol drinking, stinky, yeah. I don't say that, but it's just kind of like, I didn't expect anything of you. I didn't expect better of you. That's what they've been doing since the time of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So I don't really have high expectations of them in terms of like their manners when it comes down to the Muslims. So yeah, that's how it came from. That's where it came from. The Muslims I have very high expectations of in terms of the behavior. And they still disappoint me because I still have high expectations, but I still got love for my people, Oh, there's a good book about this. Oh, there's so many books out there about the Ashariya Aqidah, because this is the Ashariya Aqidah. There's so many books out there about the Ashariya Aqidah, bro. I would say just read those books, man. I would, I say it all the time, man. I try and avoid dawah topics and whatnot, because I don't want brothers like, looking at me for the book and the sunnah and the religion and whatnot. It kind of scares me, man, because I'm like, yeah, I don't know why it scares me. I don't know. Maybe I should get back into it. I've been studying again recently. I really need to get back into, studying and whatnot. So, yeah. Whoop. Abuamerican style of that would be very applicable in some lands, Sydney, Australia. I've never been there. I heard it's very difficult to get in there, and a lot of brothers that I know have tried to go there, Americans, and they made it very difficult for them at the airport. I don't know. I started studying again. I really need to get back to studying. I can't really say that I'm probably going to be doing it for more than personal practice and understanding and knowledge. It'll probably eke out in my speech more and more over time. Yeah, I think that's natural, but I don't know if I'm trying to take on like a Tao position or anything like that. But I've been studying this red pill and all this stuff for so long, and it's like I kind of became lopsided in the wrong direction. So it's time to return back. It's like the hadith where they say, the man is like a tethered animal, and then he wanders until the end of his rope is reached, and he comes back to his tether. This is our religion. We wander at times and we come back and say, "Khalas, man, I've had enough of the red pill stuff, I mean, not enough. I mean, it's always going to be a part of it, inculcated in my mind. I'll always be interested in it, but it's like, study the book and the sunnah, man. It's more important than anything else. And so I'm trying to return back to it. Jazakallah khair. So yeah, now Barakallahu Feek spending 2 hours. Jazakallah khair. Man, Barakallahu Feek to the brothers with the super chats. Jazakallah khair for the quality questions. Excuse me for my loss of patience there. Sometimes I get mad, I be getting mad, boy. So Abuamerican, you mentioned about Dar es Salaam book. Do you know if they only publicize for Salafis? I don't know if they cater for other madhabs. I mean, they've got a whole plethora of books. I think they're the number one Islamic bookseller in the world. I don't think anyone produces more books Islamically than they do. And I've heard some criticism of some of the books they sell, which is a Salafi thing, the criticizing of what we consider to be misguidance. So I would say probably, but I think their repertoire of books are considered in general to be very sound. So in general, if you're looking to learn authentic religion, I think they have a lot of books. I wouldn't say all of them, but I think they do have a very large repertoire of books that are very good, and they have good books. They have like they have they've got the Sahihain, they've got multiple explanations of the Quran. Bro, I mean, you can't go wrong. They got a lot of books that are like on and I wouldn't say scholarly level, but translated books that would in Arabic be considered to be scholarly level, but translated into English. They have a very large selection of books that is not bad. It's somewhat a little bit expensive, especially the shipping, because books are books, they're heavy. But definitely, if you're looking to build a library, they have a lot of books that they have a lot of good resources that are quite strong. I would say look there. Yeah. Now, Jazakallah khair. Barakallahu feek. We will see you brother soon, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Y'all brothers have a nice night and enjoy the rest of our Eid. How many days left? What, one day? How many days left on our Eid? Is this it?
2 days.
Yeah. Well, anyway, inshallah. Like I said at the start, Qabbalallahu minna wa minkum Eid Mubarak.